What is going on, wrestling fans? It is I, Steve Fall, and welcome to Ringside News. On today's edition, I'm talking about the outrage the internet is having over Jey Uso beating Dragunov in the King of the Ring tournament. It seems that everyone, including journalists and fans and mothers and brothers and sisters, are very upset with this, but also they have turned this into a bit of a interesting discussion because everyone is seeing Jey Uso come out doing the arms, yeet all over his glasses, all over his vest, his shirts. But then people bring up, is he just a one-dimensional character? His yeeting, his wrestling skills. What do you think of them? Leave a comment, obviously, below. But at the same time, remember when Jey Uso was in the bloodline and we had him involved with so many emotions? Oh, I don't know what to do. I remember this gif. Oh. Was he going to stay in the bloodline? He was being abused by Roman Reigns. He eventually became the right-hand man, bringing in Jimmy and then Solo and hating Sami Zayn and then loving Sami Zayn. The emotional roller coaster of Jey Uso in the bloodline is something to marvel at. But now, the argument is Jey Uso just comes out, does his arm thing, gets the crowd excited, yelling yeet. He punches people, say yeet. And I'll be honest, I love both versions of Jey Uso. I don't find an issue with either one. But the argument here now is, are people upset with Jey Uso, or are they upset with their favorite Dragunov losing to Jey Uso? And that's really discussion here today. I've bookmarked a few tweets from a few people online, and this one really jumped out at me was from Pro Wrestling Angle. I love Dragunov, and I dare I say I love him a good amount more than a lot of guys. But then they said, I'm very upset he lost last night. However, I'm not going to attack anyone for being a Jey Uso fan. Let me silence my telephone. Rookie mistake. And I agree. Why are we going to be upset with fans who support another wrestler because our favorite lost or won? And I know the passion is there. Go back a few years ago with Roman Reigns in 2015 in the Royal Rumble, people were losing their goddamn minds. But yet, they had the right to lose their goddamn mind. So I love that tweet. I love that tweet from _Immortal Storm. I feel like the hate for Jey Uso comes from the fact that after having a disappointing and underwhelming WrestleMania match, before we move on, Jey Uso has said that Jimmy was hurt and that they had time restraints for their matchup. And I'll be honest, the storyline build for Jimmy and Jey was way in the background. You had Cody, Rock, Roman, Seth, Drew McIntyre, just on top right there. Then there, you had, would Solo get involved? Who's going to help Roman Reigns in this matchup at WrestleMania 40? So Jey Uso having an underwhelming WrestleMania match, I would 100% agree. It was not good. But if we have time restraints and injuries involved, well, what the hell are you supposed to do about that? Continuing on. It seems that all of his character depth has vanished, and he's been nothing lately but an old head riding on his yeet wave. Wow, it's exactly like what I just said a second ago. And it's true. And I have no problem with selling merchandise or becoming a fan favorite. Look at LA Knight and his, yeah. But has LA Knight landed in the same category that Jey Uso might fall in, where LA Knight has not had any emotional writing storylines? He had AJ Styles. Yes, he get into his house. But really, the emotional range of a character, some people grab onto more. And with Jey Uso relying on yeet and the hand thing, well, I'll be honest, I think it's fine. Because go back to the old days of Undertaker. He just walked really slow. He would choke slam you. He would walk really slow. He would jump and get you with a choke slam. Tombstone, old school. There really wasn't much to Undertaker. His entrance, his mystical powers. Jey Uso, entrance and mystical powers. Even WrestleZone, who I absolutely love and adore, and they always give me a little shout out when I have an interview, so I appreciate them very much. They said WWE wants to replicate France atmosphere reactions to Jey Uso's entrance in the US, and that's going to be a giant problem because if you noticed during Backlash in France, everyone had their cell phones out and the lights were going. What a moment. Those are hard to replicate. Go back to Backlash in Puerto Rico a year ago where Bad Bunny had such an epic entrance because everyone in Puerto Rico knew the words to his entrance song. Do they know in America, say in Boston or Kentucky or Chicago, the words to a Bad Bunny song? Probably some, not all. Jey Uso, how are we going to replicate his entrance? Well, that's going to be a hard one. You're really going to have to motivate people during commercial break to say, if everyone is super loud, the loudest fan will get a free yeet t-shirt. And then everyone would be like, oh shit, I get a free yeet t-shirt? I'm there. I'm there. I don't know if it's possible to replicate what we saw there because it was very special. It's hard to replicate things that are organic and just, it happened. You can't duplicate magic. You ever see a great movie, then you make a sequel, and it's terrible? I have a feeling that could happen with Jey Uso as well. From Grows 870, my timeline turning on Jey Uso is really wild. You got people who were fans months ago now saying he sucks, and you got people making fun of people's dead parents because of Jey winning. IWC being trash once again, shaking my head. Yeah, if you make it personal about a television show, like I understand. I love wrestling. I love the WWE. I love TNA. I love AEW. I love MLW. I love everything. But when you start bringing up like personal beefs with people over your favorite losing or winning, yeah, you got to wake up and ask yourself, is this worth it? And then when you do wake up, I feel bad being you when I wake up because of your reactions to a television show that has a predetermined ending. That's like being mad, like actually really mad that Thanos snapped his finger and half the population disappeared. Imagine being personally upset with the ending of a movie. I do like this guy, Jey Uso beat Dragunov clean, ? I hate double E. Yeah, I could see why. Again, when your favorite loses, people get upset. And I used to get very upset too, just like a lot of people when you watch wrestling. Then I realized, what am I doing? Why am I acting crazy? Just enjoy the ride. Sometimes the ride sucks, but it's still a ride. It's like going to Disney, waiting a long line for something to get on. You're like, that was it? That was terrible. And then from True Heels SP3, True Heel Heat, another great YouTube channel you should subscribe to. For all the posts I see from Jey Uso defenders, it seems like not one of them realized that some people just ain't feeling the one-dimensional Yeet character when he was one of the most compelling three-dimensional characters just last year. This is through no fault of Jey Uso. And I agree. Like we mentioned off the top, it's very hard to compare the Yeet Jey Uso to the, oh my God, what am I going to do? Oh, my brother. Oh, there's so many emotions. I hate you. I love you. I love you. I hate you. I'm scared. I'm upset. So many emotions. And now we don't have emotions. We just have a guy coming out dancing. And I'm fine with that. I love it. I love this Jey Uso. Don't ever confuse my words for me not liking Jey Uso. But I can see why someone would be like, well, remember when he did this and now he's doing this? Not the same thing. But at the same time, we all have to evolve. I remember one time Randy Orton actually thought he was like half Viper. If you remember, very skinny, he's like coil. He's coiling. Oh my God, he's coiling. So I can see why people are a little upset. And from this is Goober, this Adam, again, he's part of the Blue Meanies podcast and the great guy. And this this is the final tweet we'll read here. Let me get this right. You've all been rooting for Jey Uso for almost 3 years, but because he went over last night, now you're not. This man is top-level babyface, an incredible worker. He deserves this run. You're all absolutely ridiculous. Knock this shit off. Yeah. I concur. I concur with you, Goober, Mr. Adam. We'll have to all look ourselves in the mirror and go, do we not like this Jey Uso? Are we upset he beat one of our favorites? Do we want more from this Jey Uso? And I'll be honest, I'm enjoying the ride. Let's see where it goes. I hope he doesn't land in the same LA Knight situation where you had a catchphrase, You had a lot of momentum. They gave you a shot. You took your shot. And then they said, okay, well, now you're just part of the machine. How do you stick out from the machine? Saying yeet and getting a cool entrance. And right now, Jey Uso is one of the coolest characters. And plus, if you go on WWE.com and go to the shop section, he has top 5 merchandise for the past, like, I think 5 months since actually since SummerSlam of last year. I think his merchandise has been in the top 10. So all in all, thoughts on Jey Uso, leave it in the comment section. I think Jey Uso is doing great. Some people do not agree. They think his character is one-dimensional. Hey, man, I'm enjoying the ride. But thanks for enjoying the ride here on Ringside News. I'm Steve Fall. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.